Welcome to the Cauldron of Curiosities. Good morning and welcome to the Cauldron of Curiosities. Forager's feedback. So one of the things that you might notice at the moment is if you are out in the hedgerows, and I'm back in the Midlands, back to paint my boat, is the length of the grass. The grass is incredibly long, isn't it? And there are lots of grass seeds. Now, one of the things that you might want to do if you've got a lawn at home or an area where you would like to reseed, why not gather some of the grass heads of the grass that you see that seems to be coping very well in the areas that you're walking. I have been doing that at the allotment because I want to create a pathway of grass. So that might be something that you might consider doing. And then there are the areas where the council or the local farmer may be cutting the verges, and there's the smell of mown grass, and you will notice lots of dry grass around. So we do need to be very careful. If you see any glass when you're out, do pick it up safely and remove it, because sometimes when the sun shines through the glass onto dried grass, it can start wildfires or fires in the area, and we really do not want that to happen, especially at this time of year. It does appear that some farmers are bringing in their harvests earlier than normal, and I'm gathering that some are luckier than others, and they may be getting several cuts in this year because of the way the weather has been. Now, that's nothing new. I've seen it happening in years in the past. One of the things I noticed whilst I was travelling around in Scotland was there was lots of evidence of spring, and in some places there is even still wild garlic. And returning back down to the Midlands for June, where they've been having a lot hotter weather, the wild garlic is well and truly gone. And we're seeing plenty of cat's ears, which look like a type of dandelion, but they're long and they've got multiple heads, and they're growing and popping up. And there's a plant which is called scarlet pimpernel, and it's weird because it's already got like little seed heads, and they look like extremely tiny gooseberries attached to it. And it's a rosette style plant with a tiny scarlet flower, very pretty, but apparently poisonous, so don't eat it. There's so much of it on my allotment patch because I would have liked to have made good use of it instead of just digging it up. So what's growing well at the allotment at this time of year? You might add, it's not foragers, but it is something that I will be taking advantage of. The raspberries are doing really well, so I've had the opportunity to eat some of those whilst I'm at the allotment. And then there is gooseberries, which is doing very well. And I've got some of the ruby coloured gooseberries, and they are doing well at the moment. I'm hoping it's not just a one-off for this season and that next year's season will do as well. I'd like to say the corn is doing well, but it's only maybe about 4 to 6 inches high. Could do with being a little bit taller. It is being outcompeted by the weeds, so we had to go down and remove the weeds from close proximity to any of the plants that were in. There was a whole line of corn and pumpkin that I put in, and nothing has happened. The seeds did not activate, which is quite sad because I paid for a premium seed from an organic seed provider, and they did nothing. None of the peas came up, so it's quite disappointing. So I'd expect them to be doing something at the moment. Herbs are doing quite well. The rosemary really likes it at the allotment, but a lot of our other herbs aren't doing as well as I thought they might do. So is that because of the soil type? I might actually have to look into it. We've got a lot of flint in the soil, and the area used to be a market garden, and I do think that maybe putting some sustenance back into the soil at some point will be useful. But what is happening in the hedges? Well, one of the things I noticed as I was out walking near Rugby is the hawthorns have already got fairly significant size haws. So that's quite interesting, being in Scotland where the hawthorn was in flower, to come down to the Midlands and we've got reasonable size haws already on the hawthorn. And I also noticed that the sloes were green with an edge of black on them. Interesting, isn't it? What are you seeing out there in the hedgerows at the moment? Thank you for listening to this episode of the Cauldron of Curiosities. If you enjoyed this dip into folklore, don't forget to follow the podcast, share it with a friend, and keep your lantern handy for the next curious tale.